So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the workshop Collaborative Learning Tools this morning. And my name is Hương and my partner Helen. We are both e-learning advisors here at Italy UQ. And this morning we will be presenting with you two tools that we can use in enhancing the collaboration in the classroom. So first of all, I would like to start with the acknowledgement of country. The University of Queensland acknowledges the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we meet. We pay our respects to their ancestors and their descendants who continue cultural and spiritual connection to country. We recognize their valuable contributions to Australian and global society. So a few words about collaborative learning. So as you might have already known, collaborative learning refers to the joint intellectual effort by student and the teachers together. So it is not just the academics or the tutors telling the student what to do, but it's centered on student exploration or application of the course material. And in the 21st century, when we have more technology available for teaching and learning has become a network phenomenon and where the knowledge can be retrieved and shared. So students have more demand in their learning, or they may have more needs to learn through multimedia channel, not just from the textbooks. So in today's session, we are going to present with you two of the tools that we can use in the classroom to meet those demands of the student. And hopefully after the sessions, you will be able to use the tool to help students foster higher level of thinking, oral communication, self-management, and leadership skill through the collaborative activities in the classroom. So when we talk about the course design, we often talk about the learning management system and also the different technology that can be connected or integrated in that learning management system, which is Blackboard at UQ. So in Blackboard, you will be able to see some of the standard course menu, for example, or including the announcements, the learning resources, the assessment menu, the grade center, Zoom or Teams if you are using the conferencing app, and the lectures recording. So these are the core elements when we design a course. And in addition to that, we have Add Discussion, Padlet, and Repos. So these are the tools that we can use to create different learning activity, and we added those to the learning resources or learning activities in the course. And in some cases, academics might decide to use this tool to create some formative assessment tasks for the student. So let's first talk about the Padlet. So how many of you here are familiar with Padlet, or is that your first time learning about this tool? Can I have a show of hand, please? Yep. Thank you. All right, so not many people are familiar with Padlet. Yeah, that's good. So today we will be only use as student first time. Yeah, it's really good that you share with me that you use that with student. That means when you are going to use Padlet from today, you would have two accounts. One is Padlet account as student, and the other will be staff account. It will be quite similar in terms of access and so on, but you need to make sure that from which account you create the Padlet and how to share that with students. So Padlet is like a digital board where you can get the students share the material or report their work in group work, pair work, or individual work in the class. So Padlet can be used in class activities or outside of class. Students can collaborate and share resources. There are different formats for different activities and pedagogical purposes, which I will touch upon a few popular settings today. And I encourage you to try different settings at your own time. You can provide feedback for student posts through reaction or provide comments. You can also assign grades for posts if you want to use Padlet as a formative assessment, you can share link or embed Padlet within Learn.UQ, LearnX, at discussion board or Microsoft Teams. So here are the 8 formats available in Padlet, and 5 of them are quite popular in education, including the wall, canvas, shelf, the map, and timeline. Of course, you are welcome to use all of them if it is suitable with your teaching purpose. So for pedagogical use of Padlet, please share if you have ideas to share so that we can learn from each other. You can use Padlet for small group and big group. It is amazing for us when we learn that some of the courses in medical school use Padlet for groups up to 500 students. And you can use for individual pair work and group work. And as I have said, it can be used in face-to-face, online or hybrid mode of teaching. And you can use that to target all learning objectives, such as from remembering, understanding to applying. So students can do activities like brainstorming, outlining, or reporting solutions. So here are some of the Padlet examples that have been used in higher education context. The first one, I really like this one. It is using the Word format. Word format is when students make posts and it create a post and have no space between the post. So if you want to develop the sense of belonging, for example, at the start of the semester, week 0, you can create this Word Padlet, which is called Course Community, and send the link to the student, asking the student to introduce themselves. But remember to add your own photo and post first, so that when the student access the Padlet, they will be able to see the teaching staff and feel welcomed. The second one is use the map format, and it is really good for an ice-breaking activity. So in this one, the Padlet title is "Where Are You From?" And I've asked the student to introduce the place where they are from, and they can add the map or the photo, and student can check out where are their friends coming from all over the world. The next one is a shelf format. So shelf format, you can see that you will be able to create different shelves, and then you will create the shelf title. And then when the students are working, they know where to post underneath each of the title. So this one is for a pair work or group work activity where the student discuss about what is their favorite movies. They add the trailer and add an explanation why they recommend that movie to their friends. And when you are using the shelf, make sure that you include a sample response or specific instruction. So when the student get inside the group, they will be able to kind of understand the instruction. And as you can see that I add the icon and then my course code, the name of the activity, and a brief instruction on how the student should do this activity. And then I use a very suitable wallpaper, which I will show you in our practice. The next one is also a shelf format. And in this context, I create one Padlet for my first tutorial groups. It is still the shelf with the shelf heading. And also I have the instruction here on one of the column. And then I will remake or copy this shelf into another Padlet page and change the name into tutorial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and send the relevant links to each of the tutorial group. So this one, I would like to highlight the functionality of copy or remake the Padlet. And this one is a canvas format. Canvas means that once you create the post, you will be able to move the post around, change the color of the post, and link the post with each other so that we can group the idea. And for this particular format, we need to remember to give students more access right. I will show you about the setting for the canvas a bit later. So similar, this one is the Canvas format. And in this one, the student needs to read an article and break down the article into different arguments and identify the main argument and the supporting details for each of the argument. And finally, this is the timeline format when you need the student to work on something like the history, or in this example, students have to do weekly reflection. So a timeline can show their change of thought or their development in understanding about the issues, the topic we covered in class. Okay, so now I would like you to join an activity here before we will setting up our Padlet. So first, I'm going to copy the link into the chat and would like you to join the discussion. So in this Padlet, you can click on the plus button and then create a post. And then in that post, you have so many different possibilities. You can upload a file, take a photo, send a link, search for an image online. And if you click on the three dots, you can have more options to add in your post. So I would imagine that when students first join in this Padlet, they won't be able to electronically meet each other in the course, which is quite nice. Yeah, I can see someone post hi. So in this one, if you can, yep, you are doing this correctly. Yes, you can edit your post and then send, add a photo. Yep, I see someone with their dog and very nice hat. And yeah, good morning. Nice. Yeah. Hi from Brisbane. Excellent. So currently, in my setting here, if I click on the sharing and then okay, the visitor can write. If I change that into can edit, then you can come back and edit your post. Very nice. Yeah. Hi, Francisco. Thanks for sharing your photo. Yeah. And the birds, the cats. Yeah, everything's very nice. So for those who have only the title, hello to all and good morning, you can come and edit your post because I have just changed the setting. I might show the setting again. If I show that arrow on the top right here, and then go down to change privacy. There are different privacy options here. The secret one is the one selected by default. It means that no one can search for your Padlet. However, if you share the Padlet link, anyone can join. That is the one thing. So if you choose the private one, that means no one can access, even if you're a student. Organization-wide means that anyone from UQ can search for your Padlet. So yeah, our recommendation is to stay with secret. And then visitor permission. The default one is can write. That means student can come and post. But if you want the student to be able to edit their post, you need to change that to can edit. So I have just changed to edit so that some of us here can edit their post. Yeah, excellent. I like the cat who are drinking custard. Hello from Goose. Yeah, all right. That's great. So that is the active. Thank you for joining.
Again, show where the privacy settings are, some of the...
Yep, probably that one is hiding. It is on the top right here. We see an arrow to the right, top right. So click on that. And then down here, you can see change privacy. And then you can see 4 different privacy. And down here, you can see visitor permission. Select that and change to, usually we keep it can write because some student can be naughty. They can delete other people's posts, or they can delete the post by accident. However, in some of the activity, we need to provide them edit. For example, the canvas one. Yep, Kumudu, we have the guidelines on Padlet, how to use Padlet.
I'll post the guide now in just a second.
Yeah. Okay. So
sorry, it's a bit hard to find when you've got so many screens open. Where was all that again?
That one, right? Can you see on the top right? Maybe it is hidden by the Zoom group photo. Can you see that now, or you can move?
If participants are participating as students from their student account, they will not be able to see it, correct?
Probably, yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So maybe we can wait a little bit, and then once we create our own account, we will be able to see that one. All right. So now I would like you to join the activity in creating your own account. So we have EQ. Let me check. So in the chat, please, can we click on the link, and then we will be able to create our own account right now. So once we join Padlet EQ, you should log in with Microsoft. So select continue with Microsoft. The link isn't live. Yep, I will. Yeah, thank you.
If you can copy paste the
yeah, please copy paste.
Yes, just Padlet, just type padlet.uq, padlet.org in your browser, and it will take you there.
Yeah, that's good. So please let me know if we are all here. That's true, Helen. Yeah, so don't log in yet. So we stay with the Padlet, uq.padlet.org first, and then select continue with Microsoft. Okay, so I suppose that we are all in the login page. Let's select continue with Microsoft. And here you are prompted to enter your UQ email. After that, for the UQ Authenticate, let's enter your staff account here. Staff username. So it starts with UQ. So we have the recording. If you miss anything, we can watch the recording again. Otherwise, please book an appointment with us. We will show you the tool. So currently I am entering my authentication code to verify. Yep, Taryn, Helen will be able to share the link for booking in the chat. Yeah, we will send the Zoom recording after this. So sorry about not being able to log in at this point. So for those who have been able to log in, currently you are at the dashboard. So all here means all the Padlet that have been created at UQ. But if you click on Made, if you haven't made any Padlet, you might have only one sample one created by Padlet. But for myself, I have a few Padlet that I have been created. So I have a full list here. So the first thing I need you to do is to find the three dot button on the left-hand side, the bottom corner, left-hand side, the three dot, so that we can click on our setting. So if you click on the three dot, after that, select the settings. So it will lead you to the basic information about your account. First, you can change your avatar. And your name is there, UQ is mail is there. The username, you can change your username here. So the username will be contained in the Padlet link when you share to the student. So for myself, I'm happy just to put my first name. If you have very long name here, you can decide whether you want a shorter name or you want to keep all your full name in the link. And for the language, I chose the option English UK. That is for the basics information. After that, let's select notifications. So notification is where we can turn on and off the notification so that it do not jam your mailbox. So for myself, I only select invitation to collaborate. It means that when a person create a Padlet and they want me to join as the admin, then I would like to know about that. And also for the Padlet that I moderate, but then I do not want other emails. So please feel free to untick the options that you do not want to be notified. And you can always come back to the setting and change the notification. And I will go back by following the left arrow on the top left to go back. And it brings me back to the dashboard. So at this point, we can start creating a Padlet. So if you can select a Padlet, make a Padlet button, click on that button. And we will create the first one, which is the wall format. The title is your course code. So let's type in your course code as the title, and then course community. And the description is, welcome to your course code. And then tell the student to make a post to introduce themselves. Please, post a brief introduction about yourself and include your photo. What do you mean by edit the screen, Shannon? Is that the wallpaper?
Yeah, Hong, I can't click into the title to put my course code. If I try to write, it thinks I want to do a post. Do I go down to the plus sign at the bottom, or how do I?
Okay, I think that you are still in one of the Padlet page. So currently, are you in my page to set up the title of the page?
Oh no, where do I find that? Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So when you, okay, so I assume that you were in the dashboard before, right?
Yes.
And then you click a Padlet.
Yes,
when you click a Padlet, you choose the word here, and the first thing you do is down here in the title.
Oh, okay. I don't think
and then the description. What you can do is that you can go back to your dashboard and click on the one that you were working on. click onto that, and then you will be able to edit by going to the cog button, the setting, the flower button, and then you will be able to see the title, the description, and any icon that you want to pick.
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm at the Welcome to Padlet. And
Yep.
if I go to make a Padlet, yes.
Yep. Yep.
And I click on the wall.
You click on the wall. Yep.
Okay, it's working.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So assume that everyone is adding the description, adding the icon, and the wallpaper here. You have so many options there. And then you can add your own paper by uploading an image. And down there, the attribution, we do not turn that one on because we want the student to have full confidence when they post. If you turn that one on, it means that student need to sign into Padlet, and then their name will be displayed. But we do not turn that on. We just want to encourage everyone to join in anonymously first. New position first or last. So if you want the first, when students introduce themselves, their post will appear as the first position. Then you leave that option on, or you can choose the last. It depends on your choice. If you want to enable comment on each of the posts, enable that. And if you want to enable reaction, you can enable that so that people can like or heart each other's post. We don't enable required approval because each of the student posts, it will send you an email. And this one is an easy introduction. We do not need approval. Filter profanity means that if you turn it on and if a student sends a naughty word, it will be changed into a nice emoji. Remix means that if someone wants to remix your Padlet, they will be able to do so, or you can remake your own Padlet. That means copy to a similar Padlet to another group. And it's interesting, the URL here can be changeable. Currently, it is a string of random letters and words. We can delete that and then write something more meaningful. For example, this one is an introduction activity. So we can say intro and then use an underline to write activity. And after that, you can select save and close. And you can make your own post. Yep, allow remake. Yep, that's good.
It doesn't seem to be a save button. Just
it doesn't. Yeah, I think that it doesn't have the save button. You just go up and close. And when you want to share the link with the student, you can click on the share button and then you can select copy link to clipboard. That is one thing. And then we go back to our Blackboard course where we can share our course, our Padlet. So for this one, I'm going to demo to you how we can share the Padlet link to the student. So I am in one of my Blackboard course, and I just quickly show you how to share Padlet. Under view content here, if you're scrolling all the way down, you can see Padlet in one of the options. So view content and then Padlet, select that Padlet. And then it will show you all of the Padlet that you have created in your staff account. But the tricky thing here is that make sure that you log in Blackboard with your staff account, then it will show you the Padlet in your staff account. If you log in Blackboard with your student account, then you won't see it, or maybe you just see the Padlet in your student account. So if this one, I am choosing group discussion here, for example, it will link this activity. So I bring it up here so that you can see it a bit clearer. So this Padlet have been added to my Blackboard, and I can come and edit the Padlet and then add the description here. Please click on the link above to join the Padlet activity, for example, and then change that to open a new window, submit, and then the student will be able to see the link, and then they see the instruction, click on the link above to join the Padlet activity. So if student click on that link, it will link them to a new activity. Yes, yeah, get a QR code is great too. So yeah, there are many ways to share the Padlet, or you can simply add a link. And I'll just quickly show you the learning environment activity here, which is the Padlet, and it is a Canvas activity.
Can you please repeat how to share a Padlet? There is
sure. Yes, yeah. So here, let me show you. So this one is my Blackboard course, and then under view content. Yeah, some people can share by using the web link, and they paste the link into the web link here. That is one way. And the other way is that under view content, you can select Padlet here. And it will show you the Padlet list that you have created for your course. So I select this one, for example, then it will be added at the bottom of your screen, and then you can drag it up to whatever position that you have, or you can use that 2 arrow on the top right here to drag them up or down. Yeah, for example, this one. Yeah, and the next activities that I would like to join here is the Canvas one. So this one, that one, I was in one of the folder. Helen, I was in the learning folder, a learning resources folder. So I was in the learning resources here. So it depends on where you want to add the Padlet activities on, whether it is in week 1 folder or week 2 folders. Okay, yeah. So when you share the activity, yeah, good question, in a face-to-face, you will be, I think that you still share that within week 1 folder activity. And then in the instruction, you tell them specifically in the instruction that we are going to use this activity in the class. Please click on the link to join the Padlet activity. That means students still need to have their device. And in case you want them to join with their phone, then share the code, the QR code, so that they can join with their phone or their Padlet, their iPad. Actually, we do not have much time to do another activity on this, but I have shared with you the Padlet where you can make a post and then try to link the post with one of the aspects in that Padlet here. And if you have more questions, please welcome to add your question in the chat, and we save the chat and we'll return to you later today or tomorrow. And yeah, we have the link so that you're welcome to book an appointment with us. And now I will give the stage to Helen, who is going to present about a discussion. But I'm sorry that after 5 more 10 minutes, I need to join another workshop. So
yes, thank you very much, Hong. And there are a couple of more comments in the chat, if you can respond to them.
Sure.
Hi, everyone, again. I'm Hong's colleague, Helen, and I will talk today about a discussion board. While I'm sharing my screen, can you quickly let me know in the chat if you have used Ed discussion or any discussion boards at all, or you haven't used anything? You can see, haven't used anything at first time, no discussion board, but not via this platform. Yep, no, yep. I see a variety of opinions, never used a discussion, as UQ is limited. Yep, never have used, no, just Blackboard discussion board. Yes. Okay, so what is an Ed discussion board? Is an enhanced discussion board. We do have an inbuilt Blackboard discussion board, which if you have used it, is not very user-friendly. It's a bit like outdated. So Ed discussion is an enhanced one. And you can add a multitude of media, videos, images. You can add coding, LaTeX, everything to express and communicate your ideas better. Ed discussion allows you to have all class communications in one board, which will reduce email load significantly because many times students ask the same questions. And probably you're asking or thinking, what's the use case of Padlet? What's the use case of Ed discussion? Where do you use which? So we mostly use Padlet for synchronous activities during tutorials, for example, or brainstorming or group activities, etc. While Ed discussion is more used in an asynchronous way, where students post their questions and you can answer them whenever you have time. So let's get busy. I will pop the link in the chat and it will allow you to get into the training Ed discussion. I will give you a minute, and if I can then have a show of hands. So just click on the link in the chat and let me know if you are somewhere here in Ed discussion. So I posted the link in the chat. Just please click on link on the chat, and thank you, Joseph. Yep, thank you, Shannon. Yes, thank you, Emma. Thank you, Taryn. Lovely, lovely. All right, so most of you are in. So this is how a discussion looks. And again, if you use Blackboard discussion, you can see the real difference. Here you will have all the categories. So you will have the courses, but if you or your students have never used a discussion, there will be just this one course. Here you will have the categories which you or course coordinators can preset. And if you click in the middle, you will have the threads that are in that discussion. And if you click on a particular thread in the middle panel, it will open up. So this one's a lovely game, a social behavior practice. You can do all the different answers. It even has, didn't get any of them. So this is how a discussion looks. And let's then do our first activity. If we can go to navigate a discussion is really easy. So there is a massive search bar here up the top, and you can search by any word that is used in a title or in the thread itself. So can we search for a word job? Because we are looking for the thread, which is called what do you like most about your job? But can you please click on the first one, ready to tutor week? So in the search bar, type the word job and click what do you like most about your job? And you will get to this post, and I would like you to please click either comment here or add comment and reply and say, what is it that you like about your job? Read the posts of other people and heart them. Or if you want to reply to any of the other posts, please do so. the context of this activity, you can use this in the class as a icebreaker when you're just starting the tutorial and you want to like make an icebreaker, or helping comments and helping others to learn. I love that. Sharing knowledge, beautiful. And if you heart a conversation, it produces lovely animation, which I like as well very much. Contribute to student growth. That's beautiful. I like that. Sharing knowledge, contribute to student growth. And if you heart the responses, the students can heart everyone's responses as well. So you're modeling an activity, you're modeling an inclusive learning context. I love the responses, contribute to student growth, getting to learn and improve myself and share knowledge, engaging with students, helping out, inciting curiosity to students. That's really nice. Sharing knowledge and getting to learn and improve myself as well. Yeah, because when we teach, we sort of learn. That's a known practice. Lovely. So this is one activity I wanted us to do. Next, can we now create a post of our own? To do that, you can just simply click on the big new thread button, and thread is an original post like this one with the subsequent responses, replies, etc. So that's a thread. Most, if not all, of discussion boards are based on the threads. So if you click on new thread, you will see you will have just questions and posts. Because I'm an instructor here, I will have an announcement. When you are tutoring and have different roles, you will also have an announcement. What's the difference between the question and a post? Purely theoretical. A question is something that requires an answer. For example, when is the assessment due and how many pages should my report be? While post is more of a like an observation. Oh, hey guys, I found this nice resource about the lecture constants, etc. But again, it's used interchangeably. And the only thing, so the post will have this icon like a post, and question will have this icon as a question. So let's create a post, new thread, and I would like us to introduce ourselves. Just type something, welcome to the course, and write a couple of lines about yourselves. This is what you would want to do when you start working with a discussion board, to introduce yourself to your students. You can write something. Hi, I'm Helen. I'm passionate about literature, and this semester, and write whatever you think you might want to write. So I'll give you just a couple of seconds to finish that. And while you're doing that, I will show some functionality of the board in terms of formatting the text and adding different multimedia. So I can say good luck. And if you go to paragraph and down to call out, you will have lovely call out styles. You can make it, and if you click on any, it just transforms your line and gives this nice visual view. It doesn't have any functionality other than being visually pleasing and, you know, making the sentence standing out. You can add images, you can add videos. I think we've mentioned in one of the previous workshops, if you've been to any. As UQ staff, you can have access to 250 million plus images. I'm popping the link in the chat. Somehow made it bold. You will have to type just, I'll log out. when you click on the link, it will ask you to sign in. Well, you should sign in, and you just type where it says email address, just type UQ edu au. That's it. It will take you to a UQ instance, and all staff have this pro accounts, and you can look for any images like tutoring. And when you find an image that you like, you can, which one do I like? I like this one. You can click on the word license. It means you've licensed it to yourself, and the download will start in just a second, and you save wherever you want to save it. And then when you want to add an image, you just click on insert image and upload from your computer. I normally would go to quick access, and the file would be the latest. It's easy. We have guides on all of that. You can also add videos. For example, I like Ed Sheeran. Has anyone been to the concert? I haven't, but some of my colleagues were, and they said it was insane and very incredible. So you first go to find like a video that you would want to add. Just right click, copy link address. Click on the video here and just paste the link. Also, you can post, you probably have already posted, you can post to a particular category. So if we're working in Ready to Tutor week, so you can just post here if you haven't yet, and click post.
Hey, sorry, Helen. I think a few of
Yes.
us are having trouble with login to Adobe. It doesn't seem to be quite working, or we've missed a step.
Right. So you click on Adobe, and then I'll sign out, and you will sign in up the top, sign in, and you just type UQ edu au. I'll put this in the chat as well. Thank you, Elise, for pasting that. And then click continue. And you should be in. If not, then probably, so you will have to contact ITS, then they will, normally it should work, but if it doesn't, then probably you won't, probably your staff account hasn't been processed yet, or whatever the case might be, but you should be able to get in like that. Do you have any, no, you don't, Sean, you don't have to be on campus to get to Adobe Stock. You just have to log in with UQ edu au. Yeah, if you have access denied, that, yeah, you probably will need to contact ITS. That might have to do with the student staff accounts. Usually you will have, you're entitled to have this access of this massive Adobe Stock images if you're a staff. Right. And when here you find an image, you just click on the word license, it will download to your computer, and then you will upload it. All right, and we're of time, so we have to get going. So we've done that. There is a lot you can do in a discussion. I will quickly just demo what you can do here. Give me 1 second. Right, so as I said, you can even embed a Padlet in the discussion. As you've seen, this is the Padlet that we were using. You can add anything which has an iframe, like 3D images. This is pretty impressive. That's my favorite. It supports LaTeX if you are tutoring in the STEM, one of the STEM courses. It does. It supports coding. The default, I think it's R. As you can see here in the, so you can see there's so many coding languages that are supported. Again, you can embed maps. You can add a lot of multimedia. So that really is an advanced board with a lot of functionality. Next, can we go to Ready to Tutor Week? And I would like us to participate in a poll. You can do polling in a discussion. So if you click at the Ready to Tutor Week, and if you find poll barriers to student participation in online discussion, and if you can please identify 3 main barriers that you think will prevent students from actively participating. I would think that might probably be the fear of aggressive peer responses. That would be the biggest, fear of being judged, and language barrier. And as you vote, you can see the percentages change. And this is what you can do also with your students in class. It might be getting their opinion on something, or even how comfortable are you applying the content of the lecture over tutorial, just something like that. Okay, now, as we've identified the barriers, so the 3 leading ones would be the, language barrier, fear of being judged by staff, fear of aggressive responses. Can we, in comments, just add our suggestions of how can we tackle those barriers and to encourage, how can we encourage student participation? I would say that using encouraging language, that would be one of them. Can you then think of what it is that you will help student to participate? And can you then click comment and adding comment? Establish inclusive and safe norms for use. Katie, that's a very good note. At the beginning of the course, it is recommended that you post some rules, and I will send them in, give me 1 second, I'll say rules. Have a post somewhere, yep. We have developed a set of rules participating in any discussion board. I will send it in the post-workshop email so you can have them and you can use them. That's a very good, varied comment. Where were we? We were in a poll. Using positive language, encouraging respect amongst the class, absolutely. And definitely you have to role model that. You have to allow for different feedback formats, provide guidelines in writing. Yep, absolutely. Arrange for written as well as oral participation. Yep. Inclusive language. Yep. Even hearting responses will also encourage students to participate more. What else you can do? We're running out of time. You can endorse a post. Endorsing will show this lovely blue ribbon at the top, and here in the list it will also show the red ribbon. You might want to endorse a content that's valuable for the whole cohort, whether it be a question or an answer. Like endorsing the posts might really work well to encourage students to participate. This discussion has an anonymity feature. Can we please, we are still in Ready to Tutor Week, go into the thread which is called anonymity testing, and can you please just click add comment, type something, as I said, write hi, hello, or something more creative, just say hi. Post and see what happens. You can, all right, Can I edit? So you can edit your posts. When you're posting, I can edit Shamini's one. You can check the anonymous, in which case it will be anonymous for everyone, and click save. And I should have enabled anonymous responses. So what they, by default, anyone can edit their own responses and posts. So what the system does, it assigns a random animal or fish or a bird name to the post. Other than it being funny, it also serves another purpose. You can easily identify if that's the same person posting or different. And it's a lot of fun. So anonymity feature is there. What else? Very quickly, chat. Very new feature. You can create channels similar to Microsoft Teams. You can create private channels and public. I don't really see much point in creating public channels. It's basically your discussion board. With private channels, you can create a channel and you will then have to add students to the channel. Channel settings, there are guides on all of that, and you will need to add people. You might want to create it if you have project groups. You might want to create a group for each project for each group or other use cases. And everyone then will be able to post within that private channel. And in the last minute, there is analytics as well. If you want to gauge your student participation, you won't, as students, you don't have access to it, but as staff, you will. Here under analytics, you will see at a glance who has asked the most questions, answered them, etc. You can see the graphs. You can see how many views and like lots of things to do with analytics. And if you want to check a particular student's contribution, you click on the contributors button here and just type the user. I'll type Hong. Yep. So she's an instructor and she had so many things that she's contributed to. This is what I wanted to share with you. What's concerned discussion board. I will quickly, how do we get to a discussion without your link? Very good question. I will, if you have time, I'll quickly show. In a Blackboard course, and most probably the course coordinators would have to do that. And what does graph speech bubble? It just doesn't have the one top right single graph. Yes, so the dashboard, if you're students, you will not have any of what I have, admin or analytics. You will just have discussion. When you're staff, you will have all of that. Okay, going in a course. So you go in, like I'm taking any course. You click on the plus button here and click to link, type add discussion, select add discussion. That's it. Submit. And you created a link and you click on the link. It takes you to the platform and you will set it up. You will click activate. There are guides on all of that. You can set up all the categories and subcategories, etc., etc. Students will just have to click on this link to get to a discussion. You don't have to enroll them or do anything. All right. Taryn, you're staff, but you're not staff in my discussion. That's why you don't have those icons to work with.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Talking about Ripple. Patrice, I can talk about Ripple. We're running out of time. I'm very happy to talk about Ripple very quickly. We cannot add links. As students, we probably, we cannot add links to Blackboard, so best to email students beforehand. Taryn, did you mean the links to the Blackboard, to the discussion?
So I might be one of 10 tutors. We can't all add our links to Blackboard.
The course, if course coordinators, it's best used as a course, not for a particular tutorial. So if course coordinator, you can just ask them to create it, or ask them to give you a teaching assistant, right? Teaching assistant in Blackboard will give you the right to create content. Then they will create, and you will just post an announcement in Blackboard saying, letting students know this is the discussion board we're using. Click on the link. Thank you very much to everyone. Whoever has to go, please go. And I will, however, I can quickly show what Ripple is. Okay, I hope I'm still sharing my screen. Yeah, I am. Okay, so Ripple is a platform where students can create, moderate, and practice study resources. So first, students learn a particular resource. Yep, absolutely. Whoever wants to learn about Ripple, please stay behind. So a content of week 1 say has been taught, and then a task is given for students to create a learning resource based on that content. Creating learning resources is a learning activity in itself, because to create a resource, you have to first deeply understand the course content and all the links between parts of that content, being able to verbalize it. So that's a very good learning opportunity in itself to create a resource. So students get to Ripple and they will click create. There are now, I'll go into another one. There are 12 types of learning resources that students can create. Most commonly used would be MCQ, then you have multiple answer where a couple of answers are correct, hotspot, long answer, worked example, like lots of them. After they've created a resource, it then gets pulled into moderation pool. Why? Because a couple of students, depending on the settings, say 3 or 4, will moderate this resource. They will actually answer it. So I'll quickly show how moderation works. So I'll go to moderate. There are a couple of resources moderating. I will then answer a resource, and then there will be some, that's a actual real course. I don't want to mess it up with it. And then there will be a breakdown saying, was resource helpful? Were the answers correct? Did you find the resource useful, etc., etc.? There is a whole process. And if the decision of that group of people, it's like a randomly assigned, so the random students are assigned to moderate a resource. If it says yes, that's a good resource, it gets then pulled into the practice pool for everyone, for the whole cohort to practice those resources. So what's happening? So students are creating, so they're exercising different skills to create a resource. Then they're moderating. It's another skill. To moderate, to provide a professional feedback, that's another skill. And moderation also ensures that the quality of resource is really good. And then you can imagine, so if one student creates, say, 5 resources, and you have 100 students, you have 500 resources, you don't spend a minute on that. It's called crowdsourcing. And the students created those resources for everyone else to practice. And then everyone else can practice those, whatever many resources they want, 500 or whatever the case might be. So it's a really nice tool to collaboratively work on the course content. Very nice. There again are guides on that, and there are consultations. Please book. I've posted in the chat early, if you can scroll up, and then I will add it to the post workshop email, so we have all of that. That's a really nice tool, and actually it was developed at UQ by one of the academics at UQ. Were there any questions in the chat? Is there a link to access Ripple? You will have the same way as we created a discussion, we will have to create, where is my Blackboard? I can give me 1 second. I can give you a link to a demo course. I'll post it in the chat so you can have. Thank you, Liz. It's lovely. Posted there, and I will give you to Ripple demo course. There you go. If you click, should work. Yep. So that's a demo course. If you click on it and go to here where it says the arrow points to Ripple, and it will take you to a demo course, and you can safely create whatever you want, practice, do. That's a playground. You can experiment with Ripple. Yep. Okay, let me check the chat. Was there any link to access Ripple? Ah, yes, and actually creating Ripple in a course is the same way as we created a discussion. So you click on the plus button at the top. And again, it's best that course coordinators would do that because it is used for the whole cohort. Yep. Right. Yep. So where was it? Yep. Just click on the plus button here. Doesn't want to. Yep. So click on plus button and tool link, type Ripple. And from here, select, it's called Ripple tool. Where is it? Yeah, it's called Ripple tool. Available to users, submit. It creates a link and you basically click here and this is how you get to the Ripple course. And the students, it's actually now they've created a wizard. It's so easy now to create Ripple, even if you don't know anything about it, which now you do just a bit. You click, this is how you're setting up, and the wizard takes you through setting up, explains how Ripple works. This is what I've explained. I forgot to mention that when students practice, they practice in an adaptive way using AI algorithms. So first, this is when students click on any random resources. And for example, they will get it wrong. So the system will then assign an easier resource for the student. They'll get it right. Then they will assign the same level of resource and they will assign harder and harder resources. So by the end of the course, the student will master the course content. Right. And then you go next and you set it up. You set up how many resources you want each student to create, to moderate, and to practice. It's good to link it to assessment so that you sort of motivate them to create resources. And when the students are in and motivated, they will go far and beyond and create amazing resources. If you have a second, I will find a resource. Worked example. They are, I will show you one. And practice, I'll say worked example. The worked examples. So this is called worked example. So basically there is a question and there are steps that you have to take to get to an answer, and there is an answer. And it's one of the easy ones. There are some of them that are so elaborate. And again, you can add videos, you can add pictures, codes, everything. All right. Okay, so yep, that's a really lovely tool. Okay, it's been 12 minutes over the time. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, then thank you guys very much for participating. I will send the recording and the slides and all the guides later on today. And have a successful semester 1.
Hi, Helen. I just had a
Hi,
quick
Emma.
question. Hi.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you. It's just about a discussion board.
Yes.
When I did an announcement, I'm managing the discussion board for my course, and just did a welcome announcement, and it did a push email. Is that common? I didn't see how I could deselect that. I guess that was quite good for the welcome bit. Was that a sort of
Yes.
standard thing for the welcome?
Right. So it's a standard thing for any announcements. So if you are creating, where were we? Yeah. Am I sharing my screen? I am. Yep. So if you are creating an announcement, it will automatically, you can actually deselect it, but by default it says email, send email notifications. You can just deselect it.
Okay. Okay, great. I don't
just-
think I saw this sort of, I can't recall.
Maybe for the welcome one, because it's a part of a like setup.
Yes, it was when it was being set up. It was the first
I think it was disabled. Yeah. So for every other one, you can do that.
Okay, fantastic. And my other quick question is, we actually have a general email being set up because for the course, rather than going to our individual emails. I'm assuming when you're posting, because it comes up with your email and your name, that there is no way to sort of do a discussion board from a generic.
That's an excellent question. I haven't been asked it before. I will investigate this for you.
Thank you. It's just because there's a few of us, because I'm sort of in a more, helping from that admin point of view.
Yep.
So
We've never been asked this question before. That's a very interesting one. So I will definitely investigate this. Emma can. Yep.
Wonderful. So from then on, the posts, I've been in a course before, I've seen some emails come through to me about posts, but some don't. Is that just that?
You can set it up. So if you go to your account, you go to settings, and you go to notifications. So account there, settings, notifications.
Yeah.
And then you can, so by default, it's instantly. You can set it, say, every 4 hours, twice daily, whatever the case might be. You can do what's called digest settings. And you can sort of, if you don't want each email about each activity, you can have like a digest of whatever happened in a discussion board within, say, a day. Yeah, that might be easier. You can do that.
Okay. And sorry, would that be, that's just for me as opposed to the people?
Everyone else can do this for themselves. So this is just for you.
That's good. I will be just doing that for me because I'm monitoring it. It's a good way to just make sure that I'm checking.
Yep. And then you can select and deselect whatever the settings are here.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
And you can do a dark mode as well. Actually,
okay.
I was really rushed through because we didn't have enough time. So with the discussion, where were we? I have so many, I need to clean it up, I believe. So yeah, so with the posts, there is, you probably have already like figured this out. There is a filtering system.
Okay.
So you can click on unreads and you will have all the blue dots, which means they haven't been read yet.
Yeah.
Then you have new replies. Then you will have, this is unanswered and unresolved. Okay. Unanswered means there was a post, but no one answered it. So you must probably want to sort of tackle those.
Yep.
What's unresolved? There was a question, there was an answer, but Give me a second. So there was a question and there was an answer. But the answer wasn't marked as resolved. So if you check it as green, it means the answer is accepted. Anyone who posts, the author of the post can do this, or any staff can do this.
Okay.
So those would be unresolved. If you make it resolved, then it will disappear. So you might want to first like tackle unread, unanswered, and unresolved.
Okay, great.
And another thing, when you create a thread, automatically it will be saved as watching, which means you will be notified of all activity in the thread. If you don't want that, just say ignoring, never be notified, or be notified direct response only.
Okay.
So if you don't want to be watching it, so not watching. You can pin threads. They will appear. Students can't do that. You can do this for the whole course. They will stay up the top. So if you pin it, the pinned would stay up the top. Where was it? Where did it go? They will stay up the top.
Yeah.
There will be some like topical about some important issues that are coming up, and then you can always unpin it.
Okay.
What else? Endorsing really goes a long way, and students are appreciative, and it stimulates their participation. Also, there were think about if you want other students to respond to their peers' questions, which I believe is a good way to go. You might then want to wait and not post your response, or other tutors might wait a bit, not post their responses first, because if they won't challenge your authority, if you post, they will not post. Students will not post, they will not challenge that. But if you wait and and you can set this as a rule, say, hey guys, we encourage you answering your peers' questions, please post. Even if that's not wrong, you can say, you can use encouraging language saying, thank you thank you for being active and thank you for response. There is like sort of a correction here, or just formulate it like in a nice way.
Perfect. Thank you.
What else is here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Check if you want to use chat. You will have to do couple of settings. Again, so you create private channels. Again, public channels do not make sense really to me. But private is if you want so many students, like certain students, to be within a group and they can chat to each other. It's like Teams. Do you use Teams a lot? Or
So that would be like, you could do that for a tutorial group or.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so they will be chatting to each other, or if you have like project groups, that might be like whatever many students in that project group, you don't have to add them one by one. So when you create a channel, you will then, and there are guides. Come on. Yeah. You will then, okay, it's getting there. So it's frozen. You'll have to add them one by one. And yeah, and the settings for that would be under your admin setting, and that would be chat. So you will just enable chat here under general, and under discussion, it will be at the very, very bottom. If you check those, you will allow students to start new direct message with staff and with other students. If you don't want you to be messaged directly, you can sort of just uncheck that. Just see what works for you. Okay. That's it for a discussion. It's a really lovely tool. You will like using it. It will reduce your email load, and it's just very easy platform to use.
So it's better, even with announcements in a discussion board, you're better off just channeling it all through this rather than using.
Well,
what's
that's a
the
good question. We always get asked to this question. We would recommend still, you can duplicate, we would still recommend using Blackboard as announcement because it's like your learning management system. So where everything's pulled together, assessment, grades, etc., etc. So I believe posting announcements in Blackboard still would be a preferred way. You can sort of duplicate. Yeah, I believe still Blackboard announcements would be better, just in terms of consolidating everything. Some students might never actually use a discussion. And you will see that from the analytics that they've never, some of them will be just watching, which is also good. They may be viewing a lot of posts, but they might not be contributing.
So they have to click on the link to actually then
to get
themselves in there. We can't make them see those things. Yeah, that's a good point. So that's why the announcement. Yeah. Okay.
And you can add a link to add in the announcement. Or you can link to a thread or a post. You right click and right click, copy link, and it will take you to that particular thread. You can link to a category if you want. For example, you said in your announcements, what was it? We're discussing, so please read a very interesting discussion about that topic and give an exact link to the exact thread. Or you can link again to a category. You right click, copy link address and link to a category. What else? Pretty much it. Let me check the other. Okay. Yep, that was just cool. All right. That's pretty much it. Shoot us an email if you have any more questions to advisors email box from which you were getting all the calendar invites. Yeah, and we'll be very happy to help. Okay. Thank you, guys. And again, have a very successful semester one. Bye.